Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friend Shot Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. I am Friend Shot Blue. It is March 3rd of 2025. I have 4:24 in the p.m. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Pray you guys had a glorious day in the Lord. Let's say it together. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. People, I want to thank you guys in advance for supporting this video. Just keep supporting it. I know that the thumbs ups are being taken away. It should be at least 600 or 700. I've been following it off and on as I've been producing the video. The number keeps going up and down, up and down. So the game is being played. Also, the view numbers are being played with. Don't get discouraged. Just watch the video, okay? And share it, okay? If you have social media, share it. People, I want to finish what I started earlier. What I mean by that is this. I said I believe there was a connection between the Black Hawk helicopter, which hit an American Eagle plane on January 29th of this year, and it landed in the Potomac. It was the biggest story in a while. In my humble opinion, that started off all the plane issues that we've had during the year. There is a reason, people. There is a reason. The powers do things on a timing basis, and they have to leave signs. They have to leave their footprints. With the gift that God has gifted me with, I can tell from the 5 C's, or when God gives me dreams or makes me a nervous wreck like he did last night. And I finally was able to figure it out this morning. I just want to thank him for it. Now I'm going to show you something. People, it's a double whammy. It connects everything that we've been dealing with for years, ever since May 7th of 1948, when Israel became a nation, all the way to the encounter that you just had with this Vice President, VP Vance, along with President Donald J. Trump, and the verbal confrontation with those two as a tag team, dealing with the guy from overseas who Joe Biden gave money to just about every time he came. You know who he is. There's a guy who came from overseas, always getting money because he has a skirmish overseas. Now, I'm just going to play the video and I'm going to add to it. But it's going to be a double whammy. What do I mean by the double whammy? The Bible prophesies that when they say peace, peace, there's going to be war. I'm going to fill in the blank for you. It's going to be all out WAR. It's going to be global. But it's not just going to be in relation to the guy who has a nemesis overseas. And I call that nemesis the bear. Okay? You're gonna figure it out. So let's just go, because I don't want to mess anything up logically. Check it out. About the time I got up, it just started making sense. You see, people, the other day, the biggest story in American politics hit, and you know what I'm talking about. This man was part of a trio, our vice president. It was him, the president of the United States, and somebody from a foreign land. That person from the foreign land has been getting money from us all the way through the Biden administration. Now I know who it is. Now, this guy who came to Washington, D.C. and met with our vice president and president of the United States, there was a verbal battle, if you will, going back and forth before the media, which was shown to America and the world. I said that diplomacy is never done that way. You go behind the scenes and you hash it out. You get your frustrations, and then you come before the media. You don't negotiate, you don't have diplomacy in front of the whole world. So to me, it was staged. And people, not only that, it is connected allegedly to Bye Miss American Pie. Now, you know, I have been dealing with that song for probably 3 months. I was the first to do it. It is what it is. Now, let me go straight into it. I know it's repetitive for some people, but I gotta set the background for people who didn't see it, okay? Now check it out. The United States was looked directly in the eye as the guy from overseas said. Let's go back. I gotta do this right. J.D. Vance was looked straight in the eye by the guy from overseas, okay? That's what I'm saying here. All right, here we go. Allegedly. Now, I'm going to tie all this together because the Vice President of the United States was looked directly in the eye as the guy from overseas sat there, and he said to him, I quote, "You have nice oceans, but you don't feel it now, but you will feel it." And Donald J. Trump cold snap. I'm going to say it again. The guy from overseas who has been getting money from Joe Biden administration just about every time he came to Washington, D.C. On the 28th of February, a few days ago, the negotiations broke down, and he was told in so many words to get out the White House. Negotiation has failed. And he said to Vice President J.D. Vance, "You have nice oceans. You don't feel it now, but you will feel it." And Trump cold snap. Now, there's one more player in this whole scenario. I will call him the bear. It is symbolic of a country. You know who it is. It is the opponent of the one who was at Washington, D.C. Now that you get it, we're going to go forward because it's all connected. This man was warned. So evidently, him and Trump are going to feel something in the future, and or Trump will be unalive, and this man will have to deal with it because he told him, "You will feel it in the future." Now look at his date of birth. August 2nd, 1984. And as I say this, go back and watch the video, okay? When him and J.D. Vance had this exchange, okay? And you'll see what I'm saying. Now his birthday is August 2nd of 1984. American Pie, this song by Don McLean, the phrase "Bye Bye Miss American Pie" from the song American Pie by Don McLean refers to February 3rd, 1959, the day when Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P., the Big Booper, Richardson died in a plane crash, often called the day the music died in a song, signifying a significant loss in the music industry, making this date the implied context of the line "Bye Bye Miss American Pie." What if I told you there is a connection between this song and also the start of this plane crashes, which happened January 29th of 2025. I want you to pause and wrap your mind around this. This is why I couldn't sleep last night until it finally came out this morning. And I wrestled with it. I was like, there's got to be something there. Guys trying to show me, but I couldn't tie it in. And I figured it out. There was a plane crash February 3rd of 1959. Guess what? Plane crashes in America began on January 29th of 2025 when a plane was coming from Kansas City, and it was in Washington, D.C., and a Black Hawk helicopter hit an American Eagle. Do you get it? A Black Hawk hit an American Eagle, and boom, it went into the Potomac. It went into the Potomac. And it's deep because there's a tie-in with the Potomac. And this is when I got stuck mentally. I couldn't get it out of my system. I couldn't figure it out. It was something I read earlier. Now I'm going to tie this thing. Everything has to do with the Potomac River. The Potomac River. You see, back in the day, Don McLean wrote a song in relation to 3 people in the music business and 1 pilot. The plane crashed. Keyword, plane crashed. That was February 3rd of 1959. Then Don McLean wrote a song called American Pie in relation to that. American Pie, to me, is symbolic, and it's all connected to the plane crash, not just now, but in the metaphysical for the future. And this is, I'm going to show you the tie-in. This is mind-blowing. Watch this here. Here's the actual crash that just happened January 29th of this year. Let's see this actual crash, and we'll go from there.
We begin tonight with breaking news. A passenger jet landing at Reagan National in Washington has collided with a military helicopter. The plane went into the Potomac River, where there's a search and rescue operation tonight. American Airlines says 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on that plane coming in from Wichita. CNN reports 3 soldiers were on the Black Hawk.
And we do know at least 4 people survived. Here's a video from the observation camera at the nearby Kennedy Center showing the moment of the collision. You can see the 2 sets of lights appear to collide and then that explosion. Republican Senator...
I'll show you that again.
Here's a video from the observation camera at the nearby Kennedy Center showing the moment of the collision. You can see the 2 sets of lights appear to collide and then that explosion. Republicans...
The small light was the helicopter. The big light was the plane.
Camera at the nearby Kennedy Center showing the moment of the collision. You can see the 2 sets of lights appear to collide and then that explosion.
So that was the Black Hawk helicopter hitting the plane. Let me see if I can get something else here. Tragedy. Again, Army helicopter hit a plane near Reagan Airport. Right now, they're saying everybody died. It was 3 U.S. servicemen on the actual helicopter. And okay, now we've said that. Now, symbolically, it's this, people. A Black Hawk helicopter hit an American Eagle airline. The American Eagle is symbolic for America, okay? Now, look at this here. On January 29th, 2025, a Bombardier CRJ 700 airliner, American Airlines Flight 5342, and a United States Army Sikorsky Black Hawk helicopter operating as priority air traffic 25 collided in midair over the Potomac River. This is the whole picture right here. The Potomac River. This was the biggest clue, and I couldn't figure out when I did the first video. So you guys are going to see it in real time. Washington, D.C. was established on July 16, 1790, when President George Washington signed the Residence Act. The Residence Act created the federal district that would become the capital of the United States. Now check this out. The Residence Act established the capital of the Potomac River. So when Washington, D.C. became a part of the United States on July 16, 1790, so did the Potomac River. Now, July 16th, right? July 16th. Look at this. Take July 16th of 2025, this year, versus the day of the airline crash when the Black Hawk helicopter hit the American Eagle, and the American Eagle landed where? In the Potomac River. It landed January 29th. It landed in the Potomac River. What does this mean? The same way the country began, Washington, D.C. connected to the Potomac River, it will end in the river. Same river. Get it? You began, your birth was in Washington, D.C., and you end up in the same river where you started. Look at the numbers. July 16th, Potomac River, Washington, D.C. just started, versus the day that the hawk hit the eagle, 1/29/2025. The difference is 24 weeks. What is 24 in Roman numerals? X. But it gets better. Watch. We have January 20th of 2025. That's the inauguration. Versus 10/7. What is 10/7? Remember I told you about the bear? The guy from overseas? The bear? His birthday is 10/7. His last birthday, that was 2024. The difference is 3/16. The sacrifice of WAR is coming. You know, 3:16 is John 3:16, sacrifice. Jesus sacrifice. 3:16 is sacrifice. Remember who the bear is. The bear is in opposition to the guy who came to the White House this past week. You know who he is. His birthday is 10/7. The difference between that inauguration is 3/16. Now check this out. Potomac River, J.D. Vance comes out to 88. What is Trump's text number? 88022. And here we go. The phrase "Bye Bye Miss American Pie" from the song American Pie by Don McCain refers to that February 3rd, 1959 day that the plane crashed. We'll keep it in perspective. Here's some of the lyrics. I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. I went down to the sacred store where I heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. Remember, I've done 2 videos on it, where on Inauguration Day, they tried to play the music. Remember, the music was supposed to be sang, and she had to sing a cappella. Remember that? Let's go back to that. So much information, people, so much information. Let's go back there. Okay. So, January 20th, Inauguration Day. Here it is. Carrie Underwood, she tried to sing, and the music wouldn't play. The day the music died, January 20th, it died. She couldn't sing, what's the name of the song? It'll come to me, just be patient. So I'm sorry, people, I'm having brain issues today. But let me go forward. So the music wouldn't play. And in the streets, the children screamed, the lovers cried, and the poets dreamed. But not a word was spoken, the church bells all was broken, right? So the music died. The day the music died is symbolic. Now check this out. On 2/3, that's the date that we have for Bye Bye Miss American Pie, Don McClain, 2/3. On 2/3/2024 is the anniversary. On 7/16, that is the anniversary that Washington became part of the United States. The difference is 75 weeks. What is 75? The 75th day of the year, isn't this deep? March 16, 3/16. I know it's hot and heavy. I'm going. Here's 7/16 also. 7/16 is the anniversary of the day that Washington, D.C. became part of the United States, and the Potomac River also, right? Versus the day they had the confrontation verbally, president, vice president, against the guy from overseas, right? February 28th. The difference is 7/13. What happened on 7/13? That was the day that Trump got hit in the head, July 13th. See all the connections? Remember? Fight, fight, fight. And then let's go here. 10/7, that's the bear. That's the guy from overseas. That's his birthday. Versus 7/16, the day that Washington, D.C. became a nation and the Potomac River was a part of it. The difference is 84. Who was born August 4th? Barack Obama. And look at this. Benjamin Netanyahu. Like I told you, it's going to be worldwide conflict. It's just not the bear. But I believe it's going to be this too. Look at the numbers. His birthday is October 21st. October 21st. You take October 21st, 2024, his last birthday, versus the day they had the verbal confrontation 3 days ago. The president, vice president, and the guy from overseas. The difference is 47. Who's the 47th president? Trump. And again, 2/3 is what? 2/3 is the anniversary of American Pie. 2/3 versus 10/21, Benjamin Netanyahu's birthday. The difference is 3/16. Sacrifice again. Now let's get back to this thing. I couldn't remember. The music would not play. The music would not play. And she was trying to sing, but she could not. And the music that she was trying to sing, very important here, if I can just remember what it was, right? Okay. The poem was first. Okay, let's play it. America the Beautiful. That's the tie-in. America the Beautiful. So let's go back to that. Thank God. On January 20th of 2025, Carrie Underwood tried to sing America the Beautiful. And just like the song said back in the day, the music wouldn't play. You take Carrie Underwood trying to sing on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2025, America the Beautiful, and she had to sing a cappella because the music wouldn't play, versus 10/7, that's the Bears' birth date. The difference is 3/16. There is something coming, people. Now do you understand why the music wouldn't play? The music would not play because on July 16th of 1790, that's when Washington, D.C. was established. And the Potomac River was a part of that establishment. And that's July 16th. You take July 16th versus January 29th, when the Black Hawk helicopter hit the American Airlines Eagle. What happened? 24. 7/16 is also in relation to the Potomac River, right? So when both those aircrafts collided, the way they line up, they wind up being where? In the Potomac River. Translated like I said earlier. The same place where you began in July 16th, 1790, where the Potomac River was a part of that, America was founded, that is Washington, D.C., is the same place, January 29th, where you landed and died, Potomac River. It's deep, people. I pray you followed it. Sorry that I just couldn't concentrate, but hey, it happens sometime. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the world. It's going to be all out on both sides, from the Bear and from the Middle East. This is what the numbers are showing me. Numbers don't lie. We have to get ready to see our Lord and Savior Jesus. That's the bottom line. Thank you.